We're back for another episode of the Battery Killer series. Today we've got two bikes, the more powerful SWorks drive unit competing against the normal specialized Levo drive unit. Let's see what these things do out on the trail, how much mileage and elevation we can get from both of these motors and 800 watt-hour batteries. Let's go. For those who haven't seen our Battery Killer series, it is our answer to the questions we get about how much mileage, what kind of range, how many feet can I get out of that bike, drive unit, or battery size. So what we do is we bring all of our bikes out here to a test trail network that we ride regularly with all of our bikes. We set each of these bikes to the turbo mode, factory default, right? Their most powerful mode out of the box, and we ride them until the battery is dead flat and there's no more juice left. So today we're going to take this SWorks with the more powerful Levo drive unit and compare it against a Levo Alloy, but has a less powerful drive unit. And we're going to see if the weight offsets the less powerful drive unit and what that means for battery consumption, mileage, and total elevation gain. Check out the rest of the series to see how all the other bikes and drive units fare as we work to build a really long database of mileage and elevation for you to check out in your purchasing quest. Let's go for a ride. So today's quest is to not only kill this battery, but also to compare time difference of the SWorks drive unit to a standard Levo drive unit. So stay tuned. We'll link that other video here, but the SWorks drive unit, as most of you probably are aware, has more power than the non-SWorks drive unit, much to the criticism of a lot of riders, and you know, maybe rightfully so. If Specialized is modeling things from the automotive industry or lots of other industries, you know, there are vehicles or components where you only get maximum horsepower or certain things when you pay for that top tier one. So I don't know. We'll let you guys decide on that one with how you spend your money. All that to say, we're gonna focus on the performance and see just how big of a difference mileage and range are with this more power-hungry battery or more power-hungry drive unit, as well as what the time differential will be on this short but fairly steep climb. All right, so this is my first ride back after 2 months off due to some hand and wrist injury from a crash, and I have opted to take the smoother of the ways down, just trying to get some early miles in here before Crankworks Whistler. Oh, heartbreaking, and bumps are definitely a little peaky. So anyhow, I have not been out here for a couple of months. Always want to ride a little bit slow, just because you never know what's changed on the trail. Not to mention my hand still kind of hurts. All right, shall we go for this little step down? Yeah, I guess so. Up. Ooh, little sore. That hurt a tiny bit. Take the new shortcut here. What do we have here? Okay, there we go, folks. All right, time for a bike swap. Back on the mission. All right, folks, here we are. Wrong gear for the start. So, climb number 2 has begun on the Levo Alloy and the slightly less powerful drive unit. So, something to think about when we have talked about all of our reasons for not doing or answering questions pertaining to range. this is some pretty soft sand. That's gonna really eat up the amount of power this drive unit's burning. Right now, for example, this is my first time riding in 2 months after an injury. So my fitness is probably a fair bit lower than the last time I was out here riding. All that to say, there's a lot of variables. It's also 90 degrees today, and I've done this ride on days where it's 38 degrees. So, yeah. Well, what I'm trying to get at is take this information with a grain of salt, use it to help establish yourself a base parameter, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment and insight. But at the very least, you'll be able to watch all of our other videos in this battery killer series and see how they all compare to each other under us on the same test loop. So that can give you, I guess, the closest we can get to, you know, real world data. Until someone out there wants to buy us a dyno and a rig to just strap these bikes onto and run them till they're dead. Oh boy. I need more sunscreen, more water. Let's go to the shade here. I need a break. All right, folks, 61%. I'm on the Levo Allo at the moment. And a little bit of information. Now, our test loop and laps that we're doing here are pretty short and pretty steep. We could just as easily take this to a trail network right down here in the valley and probably double or even triple our mileage. But what we're doing right now is what we think a lot of folks do who are more gravity focused mountain bike or e-mountain bikers, and that is self-shuttle up a steep way and down and just repeat that lap. So even here, there's a much longer loop we could do, and we usually get 1 or 2 of those laps in, but for the most part, we're choosing the shorter, steeper way up the top, which usually means less mileage, but as much vert. And again, that's kind of what we like to do when we're out riding, is maximizing the downhill time. So again, take our feedback and our info with a grain of salt. That might not be the way you ride. And if you're like, wow, how are these guys only getting 19 or 20 miles out of a 800 watt hour battery? Well, it's because we're going straight up a really steep hill. Your mileage may vary. Dropping in now on the Alloy Levo. Let's see how it does compared to the SWorks. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, holding that corner a little bit tougher. Just because of traction. I think suspension maybe a little bit, not as settled and composed, but pretty minimal difference there. Right, I'm gonna say most of it's related to tires. All right, that's all nice. Oh God. Now that I've done this once, you know what, I'm still not gonna hit that. My hand is not up for it. Alrighty folks, there you go. Back up for more. Keep killing this battery. Oh wow, what a difference in these grips. Thin grips, nice wowzers. Oh, Kooks washing outside. So something I gotta say, I really noticed on the SWorks versus the regular Levo is the I don't know what to call it, the blue light sound or the noisy TV sound, but like that high pitched hum that you get, like sometimes you hear it with certain TV sets that are on, and it's like just not everyone in the room can hear it, but if you can hear it, it drives you nuts. This bike makes that sound, and it's notably louder than the non-SWorks drive unit, but whatever that's worth. So, ready for the results, guys? I was shocked. Dustin, were you surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is gonna probably surprise a few people. This bike actually went farther. Not by much. Rock throwing distance. We could have thrown a rock from where this thing died to where that thing died. So 18 miles, 4,869 feet out of the Levo alloy. And again, 18 point on this one with 4,910 feet. So it was like literally about 43 feet, 43 vertical feet difference that the Levo got. So I guess myth busted, less powerful doesn't always mean more range. I spent a lot of time out there and talking, thinking, does the weight of the bicycle combat the extra power consuming more wattage of the lighter bike? We've got super tacky tires. Maybe these are heavier tires. I don't know. Maybe my body was just a little bit more tired on one versus the other. All that to say, once again, when it comes to range estimations and how far can you get on a bike, there are a lot of variables and there's not just one answer, right? Like I said, we could very easily go right over here and take that 18-mile number and make it a 30-mile number. But, you know, for what we got today in turbo, I was pretty surprised to see that this bike died first. I'm gonna probably say that the weight had a bigger part of anything to do with it, and maybe the fact that like I got more tired because it was causing me to put out a little bit more effort and energy than this bike did. Yeah, ultimately, I was surprised. So what do you guys think? Are you surprised by that? Were you expecting them to have a bit more drastic of a difference? Or was that about what you expected with the added weight on this bike here? Let me know in the comments if you had fun coming along for the ride and doing a little bit of bro science with us. Please subscribe to the channel. We'd be stoked to have you back for future videos. Thanks very much, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.